Hey guys, Dave with the First Place Auto Parts, and today in the shop we have a 2015 Ford F-150 that's one of those EcoBoost motors. Look, these things are impressive in their own right, but the owner of this truck, he wants a little bit more horsepower, and what we're going to do today in this video is we're going to install Flowmaster Delta Boost Performance Tuner. Now what this Performance Tuner does is it helps increase the PSI, the pressure that the turbo puts out, by tricking the truck itself or the ECU to think that it's making less. This booster goes in line with a sensor that comes off of the throttle tube that goes into your throttle body, and the beautiful thing about this thing is it leaves no footprint in the ECU. And what's cool about that, guys, is it doesn't void your warranty. If you have a vehicle that's still under manufacturer's warranty, you can take this thing off, take it in, the dealer will have no idea, but day in and day out you're going to realize somewhere between 40 to 50 proven, dyno proven horsepower and roughly 30 foot-pounds of torque increase. And I'll tell you what, guys, that kind of horsepower is something you'll feel every day, stoplight to stoplight. So for something that costs about 2/3 the cost of a traditional handheld tuner, this Flowmaster tuner is everything you might need if you want to keep your truck legal at your dealership, but also realize the performance benefit and not have to change anything else on your truck. Hey guys, if you liked today's video, please consider subscribing to the First Place Auto Parts YouTube channel. We're going to continually be adding new videos every week where we show you how to put new parts on. We take a look at the latest parts that are available, and we go to some pretty cool car guy stuff I'm pretty sure you're going to want to see. Now the installation of this couldn't be simpler. As a matter of fact, there's no tools involved. All we're going to do is we're going to unplug the sensor, and it's the air pressure sensor that measures boost, and it's located in your intake boot closest to your throttle body. We unplug that. We're going to plug this tuner, which is very small and weather tight, in line of the actual pigtail itself, the wiring, and the sensor. Now, what's neat about this thing is you can tune this thing with a downloadable app on your phone. Doesn't matter if you have an Apple or an Android, it works for both. And what that'll do is give you full customization on this tuner. And by that I mean there are 4 preset tunes. The first one's Valet, which actually reduces your boost. The second one is Standard, which means the truck runs as it would originally. The third one is actually called a Sport, which is what this will default to when you power it up. The Sport will add up to 3 PSI of boost to your engine operation. And the final one, the Max Output, the Big Daddy, is the 4th version, and that acts 4 PSI, and then again, for that you're going to have to run 91 plus octane to install that. So let's go ahead and put this sensor in this actual truck itself. I'm going to just go ahead and disconnect the sensor and the pigtail from the sensor. It's located right here next to the throttle body, and what we're going to do is we're essentially going to plug this thing in line. We're going to take the male part of the old pigtail, and we're going to plug it into the female end of the sensor like this, and then we're going to go ahead and plug the female or the male end of the tuner, and we're going to plug it in back into the sensor that's still in the intake tube like this, and then installation is done. All we got to do now is go ahead and zip tie the actual module someplace out of the line of the belts where it won't get in the way of engine operation, somewhere up here more than likely. That's it, guys. All you got to do is just to go ahead and snap this thing in 2 places and you're ready to go. And now that we have the ends connected, all we simply need to do now is to go ahead and turn the vehicle on the on accessory, and this light should turn bright red, and stay red. And there we go, and that's how we know that we have made a good connection. This thing is ready to go. We're ready to drive it. It was that easy, guys. All we now have to do is secure this thing someplace out of the way of all the hoses and moving parts, and we can go for a test drive. All right, guys, let's see what this thing will do. Oh yeah, holy smokes, this thing pulls like a freight train. You know what's neat about this thing is it actually adds fuel to make sure that your air-fuel ratio stays correct with the stock engine. So this thing is perfectly safe to use, and from a dollar per budget per performance standpoint, I tell you what, you can't get 50 horsepower for roughly $200 anymore. This is a great bargain. So ease of use, absolutely, it checks that box. Affordability, it checks that box, and performance, it 100% checks that box. This thing delivers everything you could want, and I'm telling you, you're gonna feel that extra 40 to 50 horsepower. Okay, we've installed the actual tuner itself. It was super easy to install, guys. Roughly 10 minutes to install it, and no special tools required. The beautiful thing is with the 4 settings that this thing has, which is both valet, you can actually reduce the amount of boost that your turbo makes if you actually take your truck somewhere where you want it to have valet, or maybe you want to let one of your children drive your truck and you don't want to have the performance. It does have a valet mode. It has a standard mode, which is a standard PSI that the truck would run normally with. It has a sport mode, which is what the actual tuner defaults to when you first plug it in. Look, you can drive it in sport mode, still realize 40 to 50 horsepower increase, and not have to add premium fuel to the tank. And then there's the max mode. That thing will get you up to 4 PSI more over what the truck would typically make with the stock tune. And you do have to run 91 octane or better in the truck at that point in time. But in the traditional sport mode, which is what this thing defaults to, it's a monster. It absolutely adds performance with so little cost, and no other parts need it. It's neat because this thing basically runs in line of your original pressure sensor for the intake tube, and therefore it's super easy to access. Look, anybody can install this thing. It's easy to install, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's a great bang for the buck. And if you have a Ford EcoBoost, a 2015 or newer, guys, look into this part because it's exactly what you need to perk that truck. The truck was already kind of perky. Now it's downright perky, and it runs like a scalded dog. Guys, we appreciate you watching this video, and at First Place Auto Parts, we have everything you need to either restore your classic American muscle car or add performance, whether it's performance or brakes, to your late model car or truck as well. Go to our always open, super easy to use website at fpautoparts.com. There you will find literally everything you need to make your car look better, make it run harder, or make it stop faster. Guys, we appreciate you watching this video. Until next time, keep the hammer down and keep it between the guardrails.